Hey, what's up guys? So today I want to speak a bit about the Duolingo English test. If you follow the streams, you know that I already took one and I got a 130 as a final result. This result is really good. You can get into the Harvard Summer School with it. In fact, I will attend the Harvard Summer School this summer. And the Duolingo English test is overall very reliable. Many prestigious universities use this test to assess your English. Universities like Harvard or Yale use this type of test. It's a really good test. 130 is considered very high. So for example, I can get into Harvard. It would be the equivalent of a 7.5 in the IELTS system or a 108, 110 in the TOEFL. I might have pronounced TOEFL wrong. I don't know. Is it pronounced like this? I hope so. But it is overall a C1. It's an advanced level and it's a very middle tier C1, so it's a very solid C1. It is a good result and it will get you probably in the university that you're aiming for. So how did I do this? In this video I will talk about how to improve your English in general and then be a bit more specific by the end about the Duolingo English test. So let's just jump into it. First thing that I would recommend is read. Just read all the books you have, okay? The first thing that I started to do was reading Harvard books, Oxford books, Cambridge books. Don't be afraid. Go ambitious. Go grand. Just grab a bunch of those books and read them. Read. It will increase your dictionary. It will increase your comprehension. It will be extremely helpful. That's how I did it in the first place. I just read. This is a bunch of books, for example, from the Harvard Business School, and I just read them all. I just grabbed them and read them extremely quickly, and just throughout the day I just got a lot of new knowledge and interesting concepts and new words and dictionary, and I could follow them pretty well. If you can follow these books, academic books, you can increase your English quite fast, and that can be very helpful. So that was very helpful for me, so I recommend it to you as well. The second tip would be to do day by day. I wouldn't recommend much cramming, but just improving day by day, a little by little. Like read 5 pages every day, learn new vocabulary little by little every day. Do things every day little by little, and you just create in yourself, in your brain, the English voice, let's say, that just speaks and develops itself. And if you do that day by day, it will be much more effective if you just do it one day and then 1 week or nothing, because you actually develop something over time, a voice, a habit of speaking in that language, and that is way more helpful than just cramming everything one day before the exam. And my third advice in general to how improve your English would be join a group of some sort. Just join a group of people that speaks in English and just speak with them. Just practice it with other people. You leave the language, you probably will suck in the beginning. I sucked a lot in the beginning. I still do. I'm still not perfect. My English is not perfect at all. But by joining groups, I will develop more that voice because I will use it. When you read or you learn new words, you're passively developing the voice. But when you actually speak with someone or chat with someone, you actually actively use the language, and that can be very helpful. These two things together can be extremely powerful. So I would recommend join a group. If you join the live stream, for example, there you can chat in English and you're practicing it a little bit. I will practice doing it with you guys, and you can do that too in Discord, for example, with other people that speaks in English. So really just chatting or speaking or just practicing actively the language can be very useful, and that will be my third advice on how I was able to improve my English in the first place. So remember to read as much as you can. Practice your English with someone actively and do this day by day. Just don't do this cramming everything in 1 or 2 days. Just over time, a little by little, continue to do it, and you will develop the habit and the English thought, and you will think in English and express yourself in English, and you will develop that much more if you do it day by day. So these 3 advices definitely helped me improve my English. Specifically about the Duolingo English test, if you're taking this test, I think you have to keep in mind a few extra things. Definitely the read advice in general can be extremely useful for the Duolingo English test, because a good chunk of it is recognizing words that are written. So if you have a good vocabulary, that will be extremely helpful. Vocabulary is actually how I did it. I use this book the most, the English Vocabulary in Use. This is an English Advanced C1, C2 vocabulary book, as you can see here, and it is extremely helpful. I would just do 5 words per page. In the end, I will practice. Here you have a list of advanced words that you should know. So I would just pick 5 words and practice them and learn them as quickly as I could. And this is extremely important for the Duolingo English test, because you will need to write words and you will need to understand if words are real or not. So you need your vocabulary to be impeccable. You really need to be good at it. So a vocabulary book, I would say it's a must. And this was the book where I practiced the most. I would recommend it even in general if you want to improve your English. This book is very good for it. You know, grammar is important too. I use this book as well. This is Advanced Grammar in Use. It's again C1 and C2. So this is the most advanced grammar book you can get. I didn't use it as much though for the Duolingo English test, because my grammar is overall very decent. So I aim more for the vocabulary than the grammar. But to have this on your bookshelves can be very useful. Then I would recommend also to watch smart series, like series that makes you use your brain, like science series or, you know, physics series, things like that, because you're trying to understand things that are complex, and in the test some subjects are going to be complex, so you need to be able to understand them as words and both as written language. So that can be really helpful too, to use smart series and watch them. That of course is not as effective as practicing the vocabulary, but in your free time it is very low energy, so you can do it pretty much as you want. And finally we have the Duolingo app, also very important. So the Duolingo app is a game based on learning a language, and I would do this again when I was in my free time. I would just play it 5 minutes and it will be decently helpful. The first level are very basics, but as you develop more the game, the questions gets harder. So this was very helpful. If you are specifically aiming for a Duolingo English test, definitely download the app, play a little bit around with it, and that can be an extra point for your preparation. It will be easy because it doesn't really take much energy to do these games, and at the same time you will practice. So that's how I did it. I can't wait for this summer to attend the Harvard Summer School, thanks to my Duolingo English test and how I nailed the score. On the last note, remember that in your Duolingo English test you get 3 attempts with 1 payment. I didn't know this, but I will tell you, because I don't know if this will change, but I did it very recently and I got 3 attempts. I didn't know this going in, but basically in the first attempt I wasn't able to upload the file because my computer crashed, so they gave me a second attempt. In this attempt I drank some coffee, so the test was invalidated because my eyes weren't visible, and you must keep your eyes visible during the test. And in my third attempt I was super careful and I just did it. But you know, I got to the third attempt to a fair amount of practice, and that was good, you know, to practice it a little bit. You have the practice test on the site, but that's pretty much same questions all the time, and the actual test is way harder than the practice test of the site, so keep this in mind. The actual test is much more tough than the practice test you get from the site. But you get 3 attempts, so if you feel like it's not going so well, I guess you can just shut down the computer and they will give you another test free of charge. So you can, I guess, use it as a practice. I wouldn't recommend it because I don't know if they're gonna change this. And again, I didn't know this was the case at all. I didn't know that you could get all these attempts, which is great because you don't have to repay all the time for a silly mistake, of course. Don't go into the test with too much pressure. Remember, you have 3 attempts, and just try your best, focus on it, and follow these tips that might help you as they helped me. So guys, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. See you guys.